So this question starts off with a system of inequalities provided to us here. The question goes on to say which ordered pair x, y, right? So all these answer choices are x comma y's, is a solution to the given system of inequalities in the xy plane. So there are a couple of strategies that really work well here. The first one, which may not be as obvious, is plug-in answers. Right, so the plug-in answer strategy works whenever the question contains variables, wherever the question contains variables, but the answer choices represent values that represent those variables. So what I mean by that is answer choice A, for instance, is telling us that x equals 0 and y equals 2 should give us some true statements from our inequalities, and I can actually test that, right? So here, for instance, if I replace y with 2 and say 2 is less than 1/2 times 0 plus 4, well, we know that 1/2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 4 is 4, and yeah, it is true that 2 is less than 4. That's true. But now let's try those exact same numbers for the second inequality, and that would turn into 2 is greater than negative 2 times 0 plus 4. And again, this is 0, and 0 plus 4 is 4. But 2 is not greater than 4, right? Which means that answer choice A does not work. And you could do that for the rest of these answer choices, and you'll get an answer. And that would be a perfectly great method to solve this question. I want to fit in one other strategy, however, on how to answer this. And this one is maybe the one you thought of first, and it's definitely the one that I think of first, and that is I see these inequalities, I know I'm looking for a solution to them, so how about I just make a graph, right? So if I graph the inequalities, I can actually see where the solution set should be. So my first inequality is y is less than 1/2 x plus 4. So I'm going to go to my 4 on the y-axis, and I like to label all my markers there and try to make them evenly spaced. The slope, so that's my y-intercept of 4 here. And again, this is based upon y equals mx plus b, okay? So 4 is like my b value. M for this one is 1/2. So 1/2 of a slope means I'm going up 1, which means go to 5, and over 2, which means I have 1 and 2, which means I have a point here for my y-intercept and a point here, and then I'd have a dashed line, if you remember that from school, on graphing this. And because this is less than here, I can shade below. For me, shading is just these vertical lines. And then I can graph this next one where the y-intercept is also 4, but this one, the slope is negative 2, which means I go down 2, so I'm down here to 2, and over once, I'm over here to 1, so I'm here. So this one looks a little bit like this. And then that is greater than, which means I shade this way, right? So I'm just shading in a way that makes a grid here so that my eyes can visually see where the overlap is. Now, which answer choice is inside of that grid? Well, we know A is gone, but let's just check to make sure. 0, 2, and I'll use a different color. 0, 2 is right here, so that's not inside of there, so that's out. 1, 0 is here, so that's out. 1, 5, 1 and 5 is actually looks like it's on the line, so that's out. And 2, 4, 2 and 4 is actually right here, which is within that grid, which makes D the correct answer. So you would also see that D would be the correct answer when you do the plug-in answers method, right? But I just showed you visually by doing the plug-in pictures, technically what I call it, plug-in picture method.